One like, one prayer, Sharting, awareness. Hop on your Facebook and hashtag that. Welcome to this week's episode of Probing with Parker. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm your host, as always, Parker. What in the bloody hell? It actually feels like a pretty cool tie that you would wear in like medieval ages, because everything I guess was forged out of metal back then. If any of you have ever played Skyrim, it's historically accurate. So it feels like a washboard, like the old school way of washing clothes. Like if you just grab a shirt or something else and just knuckle down, and then in those weird spots that there's like that weird ketchup, mustard, or semen stain, you could just kind of really rough it out, really get that out of there, because back then there wasn't any of that Tide or Downy or... I mean, if you're one of those people, I mean, you got your tight work schedule, so you're like, oh hey, I'm due at the blacksmithing course or whatever the hell you're doing, and you put on your metal tie and you're like, oh, my underwear is stained from skid marks from the past week, so you just grab your tighty whities and you can just kind of walk through the village and like... spot was a little rough, a little bit of charcoal on the brief there. So that would be a pretty good use for it. I mean, it's nice and flexible too, so if you're ever in a tight spot and you gotta worm your way kind of into something, you can always just, you're good to go here too, right? No problem. You're still able to clean your garments. And that's a big problem I find, is finding the time to clean your medieval garments, especially because sharting is a worldwide epidemic right now. I mean, a lot of people are suffering out there. Awareness, people. One like, one prayer, sharting, awareness. Hop on your Facebook and hashtag that. The thimbles are kind of cool too. As much in the way of a condom, how it protects your pecker, you've got thimbles to protect your fingers. Because you never know, you don't want to contract some weird cauliflower finger disease. And then your scrubbing technique is all off, and that's no good, because things need to get cleaned some way or another. And if your fingers are all mangled up, then who's gonna do it?
Would you wear that thing to a wedding?
I would most certainly wear it to a wedding. I would probably make sure I was in full metal attire so that it didn't look weird. You could just be like, hey, got any of your dirty gitch you need washed, or what, like shitty underwear? If you do, because that's why I'm here. Like, I actually don't know anybody at this wedding. I'm just kind of showing up and hoping you've got some dirty underwear for me to wash. The thimbles tell all, or they're just like tiny shot glasses for Tide shots just in there, or liquor shots for people that their liquor tolerance is real low. You don't want to drink much more than one of these, because then your laundry game is going to be right off. You got the sharp edge here for any of the shark crystals that have formed on the whiteness of your linens. So like if you really need to chip some stuff off, you can just knuckle down and get that stuff right off. Just skin it like a bear or some other kind of animal that you would skin. I don't know if you skin bears. I mean, I'm sure some people do. I've heard of a bear rug when I laid on it naked. But I made sure not to shard on that, because it'd be really hard to clean that on your metal tie. And that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the mobility of this, because if you're carrying around a giant bear rug, how are you going to look as sleek as you want to? It could also work as maybe just some nice artwork to hang in your wall. It could look pretty good. I mean, it's ribbed for his or her pleasure, so there's many uses to one of these. A good thing about that is that it gets wider as you go, so the initial entry is a lot more painful, but it just gets easier from there out, right? Unless you switch it around, but then there's this gnarly hook, and yeah, you don't know what you're gonna bring out with you, so it's probably better to just go wide end first. It seems kind of counterintuitive, but it's the way you're gonna want to go. It looks pretty sleek. I like that it is actually shaped like a tie. Make people look at you weird. I mean, you could just wrap dirty underwear, dirty linens all around it, and then people don't really give you that second glance. You're kind of just like enjoying your drink. Hey, how's it going? It's pretty aerodynamic. I stand by that. It kind of looks like a fish now that I look at it. So if you wanted to cook fish on it, that'd probably be a pretty good use for it too. Skillet the fillet. Head down to your local who gives a shit and pick up a fillet tie. Thanks for tuning in.